Hey guys, it's Jason Dunn from Digital Home Thoughts here, and we're taking a look today at the HP Pavilion dm3 notebook. This is the box right here. I'll pause the camera, we'll take a look at what's inside. Okay, and we're back. So this is the HP dm3. I'll say right off the top that I'm just getting over a cold, so if my voice sounds a little bit nasally, that would be why. Alright, here's everything inside the box. We have a power cable. Not terribly exciting. We have the power brick. This is a pretty typically sized power brick. It's not too big, not too small, pretty average for HP notebooks. We have some Quickstart Guides. I'm of course in Canada, and this is an HP Canada loaner unit that I have to send back within a couple of weeks, and so that's why you're seeing some French here. Here's the battery. So this is a new one of their new thin and light notebooks that sort of gets a little bit into the netbook-ish category, although this one I wouldn't say is in the netbook category because it is actually a little bit bigger. But anyway, here is the battery. It is 57 watt hours, so this is a 6-cell battery. I'll put that aside for just a moment. Here is the notebook itself. I really like the way this thing looks. I'll just show you what's inside the box here. Basically, it's just a bunch of paperwork. There's no discs at all that come with it, no restore CDs. You'll have to make those yourself, but it is worth pointing out, and I'll do this again later, because people will ask, that this is sort of the new breed of thin and light notebooks that does not come with an optical drive. So you'll see there's no optical drive here, and there's no optical drive here. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to just pop in the battery here, and you'll see that once the battery pops in, you know, it sits completely flush. There is no expanded battery option for this particular notebook, or at least not one that HP has released so far, so pretty much this is all you're going to get in terms of battery life. The yellow sticky here is over my serial number, so you people that like to pause the video, the HD video, and get the serial number off this notebook, you are out of luck. So here it is, the dm3. I absolutely love this finish. So HP went with a sort of a brushed aluminum style finish, but you can see that there's sort of some finishing marks here. It's gorgeous. It is really, really beautiful. You would never know that this is essentially a really cheap notebook. The product today sells for $6.99 Canadian, or as configured on HP.com, $6.69 US. Those prices will always change. So the best thing to do is check out the link that I put over there in the sidebar if you're interested in purchasing the unit, and always get the best price. So here it is. Now I want to show you one thing. Well, actually, a couple of things. The first is that this unit is essentially the successor to the HP DV2. So the DV2 I reviewed in a separate video, and as you can tell, they're slightly different in terms of size. So the DV2 was actually a 12-inch screen, not a wide-angle screen, not a 16:9 aspect ratio screen, and the dm3 is actually a 13.3-inch wide aspect ratio screen. So as you can see here, the DV2 is just a little bit sort of wider this way, but it's nowhere near kind of as wide going this direction. Now here's what's funny. So the DV2, I never actually did a review video of the DV2. I got a little bit busy, frankly, didn't get around to doing it, was meaning to, and then HP went ahead and discontinued the DV2. So this product was literally only on the market for, I want to say, about 6 or 7 months at most. It was announced at CES this year in 2009. It was a good product as long as you didn't need a whole bunch of battery life, and HP just discontinued it and immediately came out with this one, the dm3. Now in terms of the model number, this is the dm3-1020ca in Canada, and it's the dm3z or Z if you're in the US. So it kind of goes by a couple of different names. Again, love the finish. Now let's take a look at the ports over here. I'm going to go pretty quick. We have power, we have 100 megabit Ethernet, we have VGA out, we have HDMI out, we have 2 USB ports, we have a memory card slot, we have a headphone jack here, and we have a microphone input jack. On the front of the unit here, we have the Altec Lansing speakers, so that's all the way on the front. There's really nothing else on the front. There's a couple indicator lights over here for power. We have the power button, we have Wi-Fi Bluetooth, and we also have 2 more USB ports, and we have the air vent and a locking mechanism back here for securing a laptop, although these are pretty useless, so I wouldn't recommend anyone actually use them. On the bottom, we have the battery, which I've already shown you. Underneath here, I believe you'd find the hard drive, and then this is probably, yeah, this is for the memory. So let me rattle off some specs. Well, actually, no, let me open it up first so we can actually take a look at the unit itself. And you can see it's got a really nice fit and finish. It's got a really nice keyboard. The keyboard is actually different than it was on the DV2. Boy, a little bit awkward here. So this is the DV2 keyboard, which I would say is a fairly standard, you know, kind of HP design for the keyboard. And on the DM3, as you can tell, they went with a slightly separated design, squared off keys. This is sort of similar to some of the HP minis, and some people might even say this is similar to a MacBook keyboard. I haven't had a chance to use the keyboard yet, so I'm not sure how good it'll be to type on, but yeah, there it is. We have a couple silly stickers here, but of course this is running Windows 7, which is good to know. And I'm also going to, I'm just going to move the camera. We're going to zoom in up here, and you'll see we have an HP webcam. I'm going to assume it's VGA resolution. HP always hides the resolution of their cameras, and then there's also microphones here as well. So let me just move this back here. Let's take a look at it in a wide angle again. All right, so Windows 7 Home Premium 64-bit, that's pretty much standard now on this entire line. For the CPU, it's using a 1.6 gigahertz AMD Athlon Neo X2. So a very similar processor to the DV2 that I looked at earlier. This is the ultra-thin notebook processor from AMD. The model number is the L335. Now here's the interesting thing. The processor in this unit uses 18 watts. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but here's what's kind of interesting. The comparable Intel Core 2 Duo processor running at 1.6 gigahertz, which is the SU9600, it only runs at 10 watts. So the AMD processor is nearly twice as heavy in terms of power consumption. And when you compare it to something like the AMD the Intel Atom processor, which uses about 2.5 watts, you can see that this processor is fairly power hungry, but it does allow AMD and HP to release a notebook like this that's quite thin, quite light, and also quite less expensive. So there is a version that HP has in the US, not in Canada, that's very similar to this. It's part of the same series, and you can actually get it with an Intel processor, but it becomes more expensive. So it becomes a bit of a trade-off. It is a bit more power hungry than some comparable products, but it comes in cheaper. And one thing I do want to point out is on this side, okay, HP put the air vent for the CPU. And I want to point out one of my biggest complaints about the DV2 was that the air vent is actually on the front left, okay? So when you had this open and your palm was kind of resting here, I would actually get blasted with really hot air, and you guys would be shocked at how hot the air coming out of this would be. So I really have to say that HP did an excellent job of moving the port over here, because I think that if you're just sort of going like this and your hands are resting, by having the port way up here at the back, you're not going to get that hot air blowing on your hands, which is a good thing. Okay, so it comes with 4 gigs of DDR2 RAM, so a ton of memory, 320 gig hard drive, and it's a 7200 RPM hard drive, which is fantastic, because what that means is that it's going to have quite a bit more speed than a 5400 RPM. It comes with built-in Wi-Fi, which is wireless, internet, 802.11a, B, G, and N. So the entire spectrum from B, which is quite slow, all the way up to N, which is pushing past typically 100 megabits per second. So you do need an N router in order to get N speeds, but it's nice that everything is supported. Bluetooth is also in here as well. I already went over all the ports, but 4 USB ports, so lots of functionality there. The graphics processor on this, so this AMD Vision little thing here, it's kind of interesting. They're not actually mentioning the graphics chipset, but it has an ATI Radeon HD 3200 with 128 megs of dedicated RAM. So the 3200 actually is a pretty good graphics card. You're not going to want to play Crysis on this, but for being this thin and this light, that's a pretty capable GPU. Now here's something else that's really interesting. In the US only, you can order this particular unit with the ATI Radeon, the 4330. So it's actually a generation more advanced than the 3200. Again, USA only. Kind of wish that was available in Canada. I already mentioned the 6-cell lithium-ion battery. And I mentioned that there's no optical drive. So what do you do if you want to use CDs or DVDs? You buy an external optical drive. Okay, so this is an HP unit. It plugs in via a USB port. You plug it in, boom, that's it. And for those that are kind of curious, the motto, it just simply says Blu-ray ROM with LightScribe Super Multi DVD double layer burner. So there's a Blu-ray version of this, and there's also a regular DVD burner of this. The Blu-ray version is obviously more expensive, and as you can probably tell, there's scratches on this thing. So HP went with this super high gloss finish that might look amazing when you take it out of the box. After a few weeks or a few months, it looks like crap. So HP, I really wish you wouldn't have used that finish on this. But anyway, I digress. So that's everything about this unit today. I'm going to be doing, of course, a full review. This is a loaner unit from HP. Like I said, I'm going to have it for a few weeks. So this was just my very first initial, unboxing and first impressions video. I hope it gives you guys, the basics for what you need to know about this particular laptop. I'm expecting it to be a lot like the DV2. And what I mean by that is that I'm expecting it to have, good graphics performance, reasonable CPU performance, but nothing too impressive. And I am hoping for better battery life. I've been reading, kind of 5 hours-ish for the battery on this, and of course that's what the specs say. But of course, that's never what the reality is. The DV2, this little white guy here, when I did my hardcore battery test on it, it only lasted 2.5 hours. So I'm really hoping that the battery life on this thing is going to be improved. Overall, though, I really like the fit and finish. It's a beautiful notebook. I think it's kind of silly that HP put this little Energy Star logo. They go through all the effort to make this gorgeous fit and finish, and then they put a stupid little sticker in the bottom, but thankfully you can probably peel that off. So that's about it for right now. This has been Jason Dunn from Digital Home Thoughts. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you're interested in this notebook, check over in the sidebar. I'll have a buy link over there with the best price from HP.com. Please rate the video, add a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.